Alright. Alright. It's quite a bit late at night, but I don't think I'm going to be going to bed anytime soon. I've mostly been able to avoid looking at these submissions before today. I've read Shades just when I had time before it was announced as the winner. Although I totally called that it would win. But the rest of them I haven't read, other than my own, obviously. And I just wanted to make a video where I would read them and talk about them a little bit. I have them all in a Word document because I don't want to show my Discord. There's a couple of things that people aren't supposed to see in there. Like lots and lots of porn, probably. I don't know, like this, but weirder. And so I have them all in a document right here. I have them in here in the order that they were posted, which is probably the order that they were probably intended to be read. So I'll start with this one, I guess. Last always puts his self first, I guess. Or last. Oh, wait. Submission by Lasmalon. Okay. I am Lasmalon. Lasmalon is my name. And so since I'm Lasmalon, that is definitely me. I live in the Heist Discord. That's a server for Heist. And it's a Discord server. I, Lasmalon, is in the Hesset Discord server. Their people are. Okay. Really. Their people are Lasmalon or there. Eternal. There is well. Let's went to shit real quickly. Alex, Dieno, Coding, Orphan, Kitty, and other there are. And their contests or events. There is events like contests and also what the tournaments as well. In contests there or the ultimate contest. Fire or two. The first WAN was before. Then the second WAN. Me Asmalan do. We did quite participate. We made very good video. Then we did send it. Turned it in did we. Okay, you have completely lost me here as to what the absolute fucking shit is going on. And then, however, quite there were Coding and Keely email where to Alex with bodcaps. Daring made quite one. Not clear and Sandtix where sloth. Shade Moose. Video wire there. And rural quite where. We video wire good. Very, very, very good. I'm sure whoever wrote this thought this was very, very, very good as well. Oh yeah, Last wrote it. Oh dear, I'm not even. We talk about the chaotic setup. We do really good. Coding and Kylie where my but imagines where Riley good. What the Okay, email where great at theme fighting. Oh my god, it gets worse as it goes on. Alex Bud Caps entire ice ting to look at but bad script. Daring Riley knows what he has to king about but bring. Not clear and sand ticks very fun to woke, but wrong information. Shade moose very lazy. Real great, but too long. And we all did. And then we really did. Got last place. Asmalon and me. Got last place, get us. What I said. No one questioned. Upsetting so much. But maybe no. It will Asmalon. He be made bad to be bitrayl I. And we will ask where because of him, and he laughed. The monster is him. I upset very much am, but highs Asmalon fault is. Next time Asmalon don't item up Asmalon with goodbye. Continue reading the next part. Oh, no. Oh, okay. So it's okay, that's over. Okay, so I thought that was very, very, very good. Oh, jeez. This is gonna be one ride. One hell of a ride. I'm gonna need some water. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need some water over this. Uno momento. You know, if I had common sense, I'd probably make some of this water before actually doing this. I think we're gonna do this podcast style. Podcast style. I'm not gonna edit this at all. I mean, why would I? I'll just leave this part out. I'm just sitting here waiting for the water to get here and get done so I can pour it. Oh, no. La da da do 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 do. This filter goes by fairly quickly. While this is filtering, I didn't really offer much as far as criticism for this submission. I didn't really say too much about it. That's because it's the submission speaks for itself. It's so good that I don't even need to explain it. It's very, very, very good. Alright. I can pour myself some water. Oh, yeah. All this water's gonna be gone by time this is over. Okay, next submission. LoreJam - NozBugs. You are suggesting. Oh, I can suggest edits. Oh, this isn't very long. Once upon a time, comma, there was a skeptic named NozBugs. Oh my god. Comma. These commas. It's like people pretend they don't exist. And he went out to get some beer. Now here is something you should know. Here? The road to the supermarket is littered with dangers such as a troll named Tormental along with a gay brick called Orphan. One of those is a little more dangerous than the other. These were just two of the challenges that faced him. The greatest challenge is a communist bear named Lospelon, the mastermind. Oh my god. I am not even going to try to not even gonna try. Jesus. The mastermind who always changed NozBugs beer into vodka. The evil bastard. How dare you touch my beer? You're adding BAC into my pure as day beer, my Budweiser, my Miller Lite, my Bud Light, my Dos Equis. I think people drink that. Rollin' Rock. Anyway, knowing this NozBugs took. Oh my, comma splice. Knowing this, NozBugs took 2 beer bottle guns, a bank robber mask, and most importantly, melons. To distract the communist bear, with his beer bottle gun in hand, he set out for the mythical supermarket known as Walmart. So wait, how does this beer bottle gun work? Are you actually shooting the entire beer bottles? Wouldn't it be more efficient just to shoot the caps? I mean, hello? His first obstruction to beer was the troll named Tormental. The screamed out, "Let's redirect the heist gone wrong website to cadaver." When he screamed these words out, his fanboys surrounded him, asking for Tormental senpai to notice him. NozBugs, our heroic drunkard, decided to get the fuck out of there. First obstacle, just leave. I think that says a lot about the whole Torm situation. Just leave. When he was leaving, the fanboys surrounded him because of his heist gone wrong mask. They all let out an caustic screech and clawed at him. In the panic, NozBug fires his beer bottles randomly. One struck Tormental on the head, sending him to the ground, and the slime beast died. Yay! All of his fans looked at the body and just left. It's like a moth to the flame. The flame dies and everyone just fucks off. I love this story. That was one obstacle down. The next one is the gay brick named Retired Orphan. Noz, our hero, came across a rainbow brick fort with Orphan at the Tower of Gay Bricks. Orphan shouted at our drunkard, "Halt! I ain't no homosexual brick." Noz shouted back, "You ain't. If anything, you are a non-heterosexual." Orphan then autistically screeches and dies from a lack of breath. Noz then shot himself as he didn't want to live, even for fucking beer. Then he didn't die. He had to go get the The fuck? Oh man, I shot myself in my head and then I died. Oh wait, no I didn't. Time to get more beer. Then he got his damn beer. Then a random bear appeared with a hat and melons. It was Las Milan, and Asmelon. Noz threw the melons to distract them and ran. It didn't work. All of his beer turned into vodka. Noz committed suicide via beer. But it's not beer anymore. They all lived happily ever after. Just kidding. Noz can't die from beer. But it's not beer. It's not beer, it's vodka! You just said you turned it into vodka! Turned into vodka! No. Fucking one paragraph and there's a giant plot hole. Now let's see, we can either add one more person and drag this out, or I could just go what Las Milan did. I've got one. We've got the we can have the salty Shademus as an obstacle. He just attacks people. Yeah, I can't come up with a joke here. Sorry, Shade. But yeah, humorous, but full of grammatical mistakes, which are really distracting and make it apparent that someone who was drunk when they wrote this. But I mean, that might have been the effect that he was going for, but it doesn't work. As for the story itself, I pointed out the obvious plot hole. It's like It's like in a 3-sentence paragraph, you managed to contradict yourself twice. Good job. But yeah, I was at least entertained. You can have that point. An adventure gone wrong. Let's see who wrote this one. An adventure gone wrong. Discord name Alex0119 #8926. Proofread by Cody Pro as heck #3417. You put the hash and the discriminator here, but you didn't even put the @ sign. Okay, whatever. Once upon a time, there was a guy named Lasbalan. He lived in a world named Discordia, and he loved to stroll around in the sun. Huh? Just gotta... Oh, okay. Forgot that. Learn something new every day. He had many friends, one of them being a Viking named Alex. Alex was a very macho Viking, always wielding his double-headed axes. Wait. Okay. So you've got 4 axes. Oh yeah, I get it. So you can like swing your axes vertically or horizontally, and chop the guy's head off, and then do it again but backwards, and then chop 2 other guys' head off that are like heads off that are like beside you. That'd be pretty cool. Decapitation. One morning, Last Milan woke up when comma splice, when his mom kicked open his bedroom door and fuck off Evolve, and demanded him to go get some slime. It was for a secret kind of sandwich. Or at least that's what she told him. Lasmon, who was a good kid, started getting past tense and then present tense, took his sword and shield and headed out. Out there, he met up with his best friend and another creature he hadn't seen before. It was pink and white and shaped like a dog, sort of. Oh, so I'm a dog now. Oh, am I at least a cute dog, or am I just an ugly fucking dog? I mean, I don't necessarily mind the fucking part. Okay, I'm just gonna stop. Lasmon was stunned by its size. Hi, Las, said Alex cheerfully. Oh, I haven't introduced you guys yet. This is Lasmon, and this is Joshua. What? Alex continued, pointing at the creature. Wait. Hold on. Who is he talking to? Who are you talking to? Who? Are you talking to the audience? Because you're certainly not saying this is Lasbalan to him. Is he talking to his parents? Because his parents aren't... Okay. Joshua, corrected a very dark voice, while the white creature moved its mouth. Hang on. No, it was a creature's voice, apparently. Oh, okay, I talked. So you're using Lasmalan's screen name, but my real name. Okay. You know his name is Elijah, right? Lasmalan told them of his quest, and they agreed to help him. Last started to continue his... Okay. I want to like the story, but really. His journey into the town when he saw a green blob jumping around. He has spotted his enemy. A fight ensued. Comma. Is that... I mean, I can understand like a semicolon here, because... Or maybe a period. A period or maybe a semicolon, but... A comma? Really? Lasmalan started to charge towards the slime with his sword. Lost Blonde swung the sword against it, but the slime managed to jump away in time. Slime's initiative. Slime's initiative. What? The slime jumped up, eating Lost Blonde's face, using its slimy acid goo. Lost Blonde didn't get away fast enough. Lost Blonde's in initiative. By the horizon, a sexy man appeared. It was Alex to the rescue. Alex reached for his... Wait. Alex reached for his inner pocket and took out a throwing axe. Isn't that called a tomahawk? He proceeded to throw it against the slime. Critical fail. Alex threw the axe but missed and instead hit the window of Lost Blonde's house. Morale down. But wait a minute. So, trying to imagine here. Okay, so you're going... So us three are moving away from Lost Blonde's house, and you're facing away from it, and then a fight ensues, and you throw it back towards Lost Blonde's house. Now, when you really think... Oh my god, okay. Whatever. Maybe he... Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that Alex decided to just walk around and face his house for some reason. I don't really understand this point. Then the dog thingy, or whatever it is, got its initiative. I don't think Alex knows what this word means. And used logical arguments against the slime. It was super successful. Slime was so morally hurt that it just gave up. Quest completed. Is this trying to mirror the whole Torm incident? I can... Okay. That might be a reference to the whole Torm incident. I don't really know what else this could possibly be talking about. Son of a bitch. Once Lost Blonde returned the slime to his mom. I thought it was talking about the slime's mom. A stranger knocked heavily on the door. When Lost Blonde opened it, he found a very wounded kid, who told him that he was an orphan and that he was being hunted by his own tribe after coming out as gay. Lost Blonde, who was a very kind soul, offered his help and told the orphan that he would try to convince the tribe to accept the orphan as one of their own. So the Fellowship set out in the forest and headed out towards the tribe. Yes, I created a word there. So this is probably a Catholic tribe. I'm gay. That's some real shit here. I don't think this is referencing like any particular event. This is probably just talking about the whole gay brick meme. But he's not a brick. Deep into the forest, the Fellowship stumbled upon a camp. The inhabitants were holding a meeting because of a murder that happened during the night. The Fellowship, being very tired and having low supplies, decided to make contact with the people. Huh? Okay, how much time passed? When the gang tried to move closer, the small forest community, as soon as the campers noticed the Fellowship, they started running towards them. They were attacking with pitchforks and shouting insults about the dog thingy, previously calling them a coconut. What the fuck? Okay, no, hold on. I don't remember this. When did I call someone a coconut? Now, I find it funny. I found it very humorous. But when did I call these people a coconut? Like, what is this even referencing? I'm confused here. Immediately realizing this was a very terrible mistake, Les Blanc told his new friends to leg it, so they all did. Once in the forest, the angry peasants had finally given up the chase and went back to what they were doing before. Peasants. Don't you mean coconuts? Now even... Oh, I would have laughed my ass off if he actually wrote coconuts here. The angry coconuts. Now even more tired, they all decided to camp out the rest of the day and make a plan for what to do next. Las Milan joked around, calling everyone a Japanese ogre. Alex was singing, well, trying to sing, and the dog thingy was playing some music. Freedom Planet? Everything was going good until one of them noticed something strange. The orphan was gone. In its place, they found a colorful clay brick on the ground where the orphan used to sit. They looked out and saw a big, bright full moon. Then they all decided to split up and search for the orphan. They grabbed their weapons and headed out to the forest. Unbeknownst to the party, a pack of soldiers were approaching the camp and started to follow each of the members. Ooh, things are getting interesting. Also, I just noticed that this title is LoreJam number 1. This is LoreJam number 2. Thank you very much, Alex. Dumbass. Les Mullen had only been outside after bedtime once, and now he could hear the others shouting for the orphan in the distance. Wait a minute. Les Mullen, who was a good kid, decided to go out camping without asking his mom. Okay. Oh, is my roommate home? Sorry about that. Roommate came home. It's gone now, though. Alright. So, I believe that was in the top paragraph of this page. Les Mullen had only been outside after bedtime once, and now he could hear the others shouting for the orphan in the distance. What? But these are two completely different sentences. Why do you have a comma? Suddenly, Las got a bad feeling that something was off. He quickly turned around and saw a shadow dive behind a tree. Las, who immediately realized that someone or something was following him, started to run back to the camp. Right as he passed the tree, the shadow started to run after him, and Las stumbled. A shout in the distance ripped Alex out of his deep thoughts. He stood still and listened. Another scream, this time out of fear, reached Alex's ears. It was Las. Alex started to run towards the scream, but failed to notice the other shadow following him. Alex saw Las lying on the ground, fighting with another person. He hid behind a rock and caught a glimpse of a shining iron dagger. Alex couldn't hear everything the attacker said, only a few words. Liberal fascist Hitler. And he suddenly felt an iron blade against his neck and a strong punch against the side of his head. Everything was mud black. Osman could still remember the day like it was yesterday. The day he got lost in the forest. The day he truly understood his powers. Everyone thought it was a miracle that he managed to find his way back home all by himself after 3 weeks in the forest. Only he knew the truth. The bugs spoke to him. He could hear whispers in the forest, gossip in the trees, and they called him the Bug Lord. The bugs are telling him to wake up. They are begging him to. Las Blanc only opens his eyes slowly. Or does he? He doesn't know, because it's still pitch black. He can't remember why he's here or what has happened. He hears whispers in the darkness. He listens closer. Someone else is here. It takes a few minutes until he recognizes the noise. It's Alex's very familiar snoring. Las drifts away in the blackness once again. Where did I go? Okay, whatever. This is the first part of an adventure gone wrong. There are a total of 18 references in this story, some more obvious than others. Can you find them all? P.S. All of the combat was determined by D&D dice for more entertainment. Okay. Last one was here. I was wondering whether there was a blank page. Now, finding all 18 references, I don't know what Alex counts as a reference. I could go through and try to find them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that for any of them. I might point it out, oh yeah, this is a reference to this as I go on and read these stories, but I'm not going to go through and try to find every single one. I thought the story was entertaining, but it's got really bad grammatical issues. Now, I get that the person who wrote the story is Swedish, but he also had someone proofread this. I'm very disappointed that this person did not catch any of these, especially some of these are just terrible. Come on, Cody. I expected better of you. Also, I expected better of Alex than to choose Cody to actually proofread his story. That was an awful decision. Sorry, Cody. The Strangler's Worst and Best Day. Oh boy. This one's on Wattpad. They're probably going to put my story on Wattpad. I'm not going to go through Shade's story, by the way, because A, I already read it, and B, it's fucking long. I do think, overall, the story is good, though. Just with a couple of minor grammatical issues. It seems that commas are a common source of mistakes. Also, the plot kind of jumps around everywhere, and it's a little difficult to keep track of. It's not too hard, but it's at times it gets really difficult to understand what's going on. But it was also a really interesting read for me because I didn't really know everything that happened that was represented in the story. I knew about... There was a reference to me giving up and realizing that Tom was right. I believe that part is something that only the veterans are going to get, is because I only talked about it in the veterans chat and to pending in DMs. But overall, I thought the story made its references fairly well. I don't think it messed up on too much, but then again, I don't really know all of the references. Oh my god, are you serious? That is the first thing that... Go away. First thing that came to... that I... Oh my god. I hate this. I hate this. There's just so much wrong here in these two characters that are side by side that I hate. Okay. Also, what is this? Waking up is good. Let's see what the A Heist Gone Wrong Discord has for me. When I logged in, I just saw 2 words flashed up. You will... Jesus Christ, it's one of those submissions. After that, everything went to black. I had no idea what was happening, but the only thing I saw was a rainbowish person standing up there. Hello? Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Who proofread this? This is hard to read. This is painful. I said, but then he came towards me like a zombie. I was scared. My body was frozen with fear. Fucking hell. This is all intentional, isn't it? I don't think anyone is actually this bad. Suddenly, a figure came out and started strangling the mysterious zombie creature. To my surprise, when I saw the figure, it was my own pixel art Strangler. After he was done strangling the zombie-like thing, he talked to me, saying, Hello there, my creator. Something bad has happened. A mysterious person has caused the world to be mixed with the Discord server, so basically you're also stuck with your Discord profile picture as your body and face. I looked at my legs and saw my profile pic's red body. Anyway, so everyone is a zombie except us. I sent it to Strangler. No, the AHGW people here have shown an immunity to this, but so that's how you're not infected. Anyways, you see that rainbow path? I bet that leads to the culprit. Jesus. I just listened and we walked down the path until it suddenly changed into a radioactive place with a Mexican. Fucking Mexicans. We kept on walking until we say a prayer. I went towards it to eat it, but when I grabbed it, it jumped and kicked me. Ow, what was that for? I said in vain. Is that you? Said the burrito. Oh, you may be wondering who I am. I am the Strangler. Oh, it really is with your pixel art, which cracks me up every time, said the burrito. I heard that, said the Strangler in a grumpy voice. Oh, you must be nuclear. The burrito nodded. Hey, want to help me in my quest to find the culprit? Sure, said Nuclear. After that, we just continued on the path and turned kind of rockish, but the rocks looked white. Okay, I'm just gonna hold on. I'm gonna. What the hell is this? What is this referencing? White rocks. White rocks. I saw a figure, so I started the way where I saw it. The others decided to follow me too. On half the way, we started sinking. What in the world? I said. Ah, said a figure who was looking down at our company. I immediately recognized it was Shade. Oh, salt. When I heard white rocks, I was thinking rocks that were painted white. I didn't think it was actually salt. I mean, yeah, it makes sense now. I'm stupid. How dare you, Shade, damn you. I suddenly started flowing upwards. I knew what that meant. Everyone become salty as possible. As salty as possible. They all listened. They all listened, and at that point we were just walking towards Shade. Please don't hurt me, said Shade. Fine, but you have to join us, said Nuclear. After that, we had 4 members. I can count the 4. We kept on walking and walking till a bug came and tried to attack us. Oh, hey, last one. After that, well, it turned into an RPG fight. Okay. Shade blinded them with salt. Nuclear was charging his ultimate attack, and well, me and Strangler were just strangling it, and we won. Okay. After that, we continued on until a melon attacked us. Shade again tried blinding it, but failed since it had no eyes. Nuclear spit out radioactive waste, and the melon knocked out Shade and me and Strangler while Strangled it. After that, we continued on with Strangler dragging Shade until we met the Heist Gone Wrong Discord's owner, Lost Malad. He was salty for Shade, and well woke him up from his knockout. And then Lost started following us. After a while, we met Derry. She... Excuse me? Excuse me? She agreed to come, and welp, there was more people. Christ. We all thought it was a safe journey until another group of them rainbowish creatures arrived, and while we thought, this is time to kill them all! After that, oh, okay, now I'm gonna just, oh yeah, we just killed them all. After that, we met all the Heist Gone Wrong Discord users who either just agreed to come with us or were checking on us or just giving them a challenge to pass, just quite a bit of events so they couldn't be hurt, which hurts us, other than the inactive users who were just asleep. After a journey for about 16 days, we made it to a mansion. When we entered it, it was full of luxury and music stuff. Suddenly, everyone's head blew up. Everyone's head blew up when there was a green side hit their faces other than me and Trey. Okay. What the fuck? To our surprise, it was Torm! Torm is the root of all evil. It's just, you gotta, got the name of the video here. Torm is the root of all evil. Though, thinking back, I probably shouldn't make that the title. Torm might get a little mad. Oh, man. Oh, man. Torm had been behind this all. He missed all the green slime, which killed everyone in the Heist Gone Wrong Discord server. Yeah, on second thought, I'm just gonna go ahead and make this video unlisted. As much as I would love for one of Torm's followers to say, "Oh, hey, look, Enternode uploaded a video that said Torm is the root of all evil." Oh, man. I don't want him to get the wrong impression. I think there's a little bit of salt here. After some angry moments of screaming at him, we strangled him, and well, that was it for now. Suddenly, a brick hit Strangler's head. He was bleeding badly before I could do something. He died. No! Oh well. In anger, when I saw the brick, I knew what type of brick it was. It was a gay brick. I immediately turned around to see my expectations. It was Orphan. Why did you do this? What was the need to kill all of them? Tell me why, I said in a rage. Because they always used to call me a gay brick, but I was just waiting for my master plan to happen so I could have my revenge. Okay, you use Tormental in your master plan. Okay. I'm pretty sure you hate Torm. Said Orphan with a calm and happy look. Immediately I went up to him and to strangle him, but he dodged and threw a gay brick at me, which almost hit me. After that, I kept on missing until he hit me on my calf. With a gay brick, I screamed in pain. Orphan just laughed until a idea struck in my head. Hey, Orphan, I just thought of this as a plan. Why not you heal my leg and I help you in revenge and then control the entire world? Orphan stood still for a minute and then agreed and started healing my leg. And as soon as it was done, I kicked Orphan and started strangling him. He struggled for a bit. After some time, he turned blue and, well, fell on the floor and died. After that, the whole world turned normal. I went back home to see all those zombies turn back to humans. In my astonishment, everyone I saw on the server was gone, so the ownership was transferred to me, so I became the new mastermind of the server. I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. Suddenly, there was a knock on my door. Finally, see a group of people standing with a crown in hand, a sports car out. Thanks you for saving us. So, you're our king, or whatever we call you. Also, the entire world is having a meeting at Canada for the celebration of the world turning normal to your effects. I was astonished. I couldn't believe it was yours until I heard one thing. Call me the meme king, please. And after that, well, I went on the sports caller to a private jet in the airport, and I fell asleep after 5 hours of staying awake. I shall be back, told Orphan. I immediately woke up to find that it was just a nightmare, probably out of my paranoia. After that, in Canada, everyone called me the Meme King, and well, that was it. Suddenly, this wasn't a happily ever after ending, and oh god, why did this happen suddenly after? Oh my god. The humor is there, but this was fucking painful to read. Oh Jesus. Oh man. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I want to see the sequel to this. I want to read it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go on a whim and say this isn't going to be the last LoreJam here. And if there is another LoreJam, Alex, I want you to write the sequel to this, as I will probably end up be writing the second half to my story, or the second part to my story. Just kind of continue off of there as my submission, as long as it still fits the theme. A remarkable incident. Oh dear god. My ideas were stolen! I'm just kidding. Remarka. Google Docs. A remarkable incident. From the darkest depths of the Heist server, past the bugs, the beer, and even the present time itself, was a terrifying creature by the name of Remark. The citizens of Heist were terrorized by this creature day by day, always haunted by the fact that it could arrive at any moment. Then, from the depths of the server came a light, the light of hope, that would mark the end of Remark's tyranny. This light came by one name, Dinofloss. Wait, hold on. When did this happen? Dinofloss. When did Dinofloss kill? Every day, Dinofloss and Remark clashed, with Dinofloss gathering the citizens of the heist server, and Remark being. They fought for a year, their powers never wavering until Dinofloss made a heroic sacrifice. By studying the lost art of his kind, he cast the powerful command Purge upon Remark, thus eliminating the creature once and for all. I think this is actually made up. However, such a command came at a very heavy cost. As an after effect, he lost his power to speak, ridding his speech the phrase that. Legends from all over the world spread his tale of courage. Oh yes, the Triforce. This is the dot of power. This is the dot of courage, and this is the dot of wisdom. Don't you get it? There's 3. Unfortunately, this belief was incorrect. When Dinofloss has cast the command, all of Remark had vanished except for a piece of it. In order to test the heist community so it wouldn't be helpless if Dinofloss had ever passed away, Dinofloss spared one piece of Remark, giving it the name Remarka. During the span of 7 months, if Heist did not have the strength to defeat its creature, Heist would be destroyed, leaving the world without a trace. Unfortunately, as 7 months had dwindled away, Remarka had grown stronger than ever before. Its power had surpassed that of Lasmalon, the creator of this server, and had banished him from the Heist server. Together with his partner in crime, Dylan Stone, Remarka trapped Dinofloss in a fierce battle with his slightly more powerful army, Dinofloos. So, Krypton. With Dinofloss out of the picture, the 2 villains set out to recreate Remark's tyrannical reign once more. Oh. However, is this whole fucking thing in italics? Are you okay? However, as there is an imposing villain, there is always a hero, or rather heroes. From the brightest corners of whatever light the highest server had, emerged the forces of light. Cryptum Logic, which specialized in the art of necromancy and the cost of a living mortal's blood. Urban's Roblox fish with blocks generated out of nothing. And Orphan's EDM music, which emitted high-pitched sounds that were fatal to the corrupted eardrums. I'm pretty sure he just kills everyone in an AoE. Standing heroically alongside them were bodcaps, which allowed random occurrences happen to both sides. Salty Shinimus, that was able to channel the powers of salt within a user's body to a certain limit. Enternode and usernames Fuck you! Fuck you! League Addiction, who should summon heroes to fight for them at will. Champions. No. If this was replaced with Dota 2, League was replaced with Dota, this would be correct. But no, if you're going to say League, you got to say Champions. And finally, the last remnant of Lasmalon's bug powers. These forces of light, beacons of hope, were called by one name. Together, they had the power necessary to stand up and match the terrifying Remarka's power by gathering up the citizens of Heist that were not afflicted by Remarka's power. The memes created a strong army that could combat the seemingly unending waves of corrupted users that were seized by Remarka's power. They set up Chateau General as their home base and began to conquer nearby settlements such as the Tower of Advertisement, crushing the corrupted users that were in their way. Unfortunately, not all of the battles. This blood-soaked war had many... Not all of the battles. I think there's supposed to be something here. You kind of forgot. The blood-soaked war had many casualties, such as the heroic sacrifice Salty Shinimus made at the Battle of Bug Reports, breaking his salt limit and sacrificing his life in order to overcome and destroy the corrupted user Bear, who had struck down Orphan's EDM music. On the 20th day of this war, all memes decided to launch an attack on Bot Command's fortress in an attempt to obliterate Remarka, and end the casualties. And end the casualties that both sides had faced. Oh, okay. And end the casualties. How do you end casualties? What? That doesn't make sense. While navigating through a series of complex traps with deadly consequences, the group finally reached Remarka, sitting on a throne next to Dillowstone. It smiled in anticipation, with its pink exterior glittering like scales in the sunlight, grasping a blade that emitted waves of darkness, which did the hold on. Oh, is it? Hold on. Hold on. No, hold on. This can't be. Oh my God! It's fucking Comic Sans. You motherfucker! Dylan Stone gazed down upon the memes in his golden armor and shining blade of cold steel sliding out of his sheath. Vile hate, vengeful pride, and arrogance filled the air as both sides glared at each other, waiting for the final battle to begin. However, at that moment, Losmon finally remembered that he had his band command, thus anticlimactically ending what was supposed to be an epic battle between the dark and light sides. The end. Although that's actually not at all what happened. It's just Remarco gave up. He's like, I'm done. And Losmon just came back. That's what happened. This is wrong. This is just wrong. Who wrote this, by the way? Is this named? Oh, okay. So, with that out of the way, overall, I thought the setup was interesting, except for the fact that everything was in italics. That was dumb and pointless. It was really hard to follow. I think this might have been actually no. This wasn't Silver. Who wrote this? I'd like to open Discord and check. Hold on. I'd like to open Discord and check, but I can't show you my Discord servers. There were obviously big grammatical mistakes. That's a common theme with along all of these, is that there are major mistakes that could have been avoided, but they didn't. A remarkable. Okay, best. Oh, Krypton. Krypton wrote this. Okay, and Dinofloss reviewed it. Okay. Now, as talkative as Dinofloss is with this stuff, I'm a little disappointed. I'm gonna admit I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to actually like review any of these. But whatever. And this one is by Pawns is by Silver Sprinkles. Reviewed by also Dinofloss. Okay. I walked out of my work building 5 minutes early. There was no point in staying the additional 5 minutes that was required. After day of spending 5 minutes doing absolutely nothing, I didn't care about the rules anymore. It was a small fraction of each day, but in 1 year, those 5 minutes a day were equivalent to one whole day over 24 hours. Over 24 hours. Oh, but okay. Equivalent. Aware of the consequences I could face if I got caught, I walked out of the business building and instantly felt the cold breath carry my worries away. I stood alone on the sidewalk, taking in the fresh air before the others would leave their jobs as well, and crammed the sidewalk with their rude manners and aggressiveness, not to mention the smoke from all the smokers. I walked home, hoping no one would catch me where I didn't belong. I walked along, minding my own business and constantly looking around for anything interesting. I'm curious as to see what is actually going on here. Like, you said workplace, but you didn't mention where you work, who you are. I can't just assume that's Silver is. Oh, Silver is the one who is narrating all this. With all the people missing, it was usually hard to take notice of one's surroundings, but now I saw the city crystal clear. The city was spotless, despite the amount of people which had no doubt polluted it this morning on the way to work. Huh? How does that happen? Even the air was fresh and clean, with no signs of pollution from the buses that ride everywhere or the smoke from the many smokers that live in the area. All of the buildings towered over everything, making the entire city seem grand. Grandest of all was the castle, which was a mystery to everyone. It was a significant building that looked over everything, seeming to show its superior might to all who beheld it. At the highest point of the castle there was a simple navy blue flag with a golden letter C on it. It was not known exactly what the C meant. I had asked many people and they have all given different answers. So navy blue with a C. Okay, C. Now navy blue and gold makes me think of the Swedish flag, which would indicate Alex. Which is probably it's a guess. But the C, that throws me off. What's the title of this? Pawns. This is gonna be interesting. Maybe this is grade. Hey, look, Mama, I got a C. I looked at my watch and saw that it was 17:26. So 5:30. 4 minutes till the floodgate of workers were open. If I ran, I could make it home in time and no one would catch me breaking the rules. It was rare for me to run because it was not a part of my job. So when I did get the chance to run, I embraced it. I would run. I would have my moment of freedom from the repetition that haunted everyone's lives. It wouldn't be too far of a run, and I could make it home in less than 4 minutes, enjoying the clear air while doing so. Okay, I was going to do this. I was going to prepare myself, and then I'd go. The pawn is useless when it reaches the other side, a voice said behind me. It is certainly an interesting way to play chess, don't you think? Castle. See. Cerna? That's what I think. I jumped to turn around at the voice since no one else was supposed to be there. Behind me a girl was standing there, no older than 18 years old. Her golden hair shone in the sunlight, giving her appearance a halo effect, like an angel from heaven. Her hazel eyes sparkled behind her glasses as they bore into my soul. She was dressed in formal attire, a navy blue dress with black tights and formal black shoes. Navy blue. Her aura was authoritative yet calming at the same time, two polar opposites which froze my body in place while my mind weird. You don't know about chess, the girl asked me. It used to be that pawn. A pawn would be promoted when they reached the other end of the board. But no, they are nothing. Who are you? I asked, trying to hide my shock. What are you doing here? Oh my, the girl tilted her head as to mock my curiosity. I am a pawn, just like you. As for what I am doing here, I could ask you the same thing. Is this a reference to the chess tournament? I stared at her. I didn't know anything about chess, so I was confused by what this girl was saying. Exactly what in chess was a pawn? Did I have anything to do with the pawn shop I used to pass my chess today? Or is it something completely different? I don't really enjoy the character stupidity. Was this a reference to something related to her occupation and not to mine? Was this knowledge I was supposed to know, and how was I supposed to tell what I was doing here? I couldn't tell that I was supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to be here. That would defeat the whole point of me coming out here without anyone noticing. You're not supposed to be here, are you? Oh, well. Purpose defeated. The girl asked as if she knew exactly what I was thinking. That's why you're taking so long to respond to me. Well, what about you? Well, what about you? I blurted, hoping to cover my tracks. Are you supposed to be here? Of course. I would not be here otherwise. The ruler would never allow it. I am here to advise you before the ruler becomes angry with you. Advise me, I said. Who does the girl think she is? I thought to myself. What do you mean, advise me? You don't want to anger the ruler. The girl said. Trust me, I know all too well what he is like. What do you mean? I asked her. Is she from the castle? Everything you're saying makes no sense. And are you the ruler's wife? The girl cracked a smile, clearly amused by my speculation. The ruler is always gold. She said, I'm only silver. So... Wait a minute, didn't she have gold hair? Okay, cogs are rotating in my head here. I'm not exactly sure as to what is supposed to be going on here. We both said nothing for a while. Everything about this girl was odd. She was apparently sent here to warn me not to anger this ruler I know practically nothing about. What disturbed me was the fact that this ruler knew I was here in the first place. No one knew anything about the ruler. Not even the guards who patrolled the streets at night knew anything, or if they did know, they were forbidden to tell. Guards, knights, maybe? So how is it that this girl, of all people, is the reason who supposedly knows information about the ruler? You want to know why you must never upset this ruler, right? Ruler, right? Her voice snapped me out of my thoughts. Her eyebrows were raised at me, implying she already knew my answer. Well, yeah, I do, I said reluctantly. You see that guy over there? Oh my god, why did I turn into like a bitch for like a quarter of a second? You see that guy over there? Did anyone catch that, or is that just me? She pointed behind me to my right. I turned around and looked over to see a silhouette of a man covered by shadows. The shadows seemed to swirl around him, giving him an eerie aura. He looked to be the embodiment of evil, but did not corrupt his surroundings. Only he seemed to be corrupt, as if he'd been cursed. I had never seen such a sight before in my life. Staring at him made me feel cold somehow, as if his negative energy was transferring to me. I quickly turned away from the sight. They call him Shade, the girl said. The shadows surround him like a never-ending plague, bringing endless misery and spreading to whoever comes too close. They are punishments by the ruler, meant to be an example to those who wish to defy him. One misunderstanding and everyone is forever an outcast of this world, cursed for eternity. I gulped. If this girl wasn't lying, then that could have been me. Even though none of this made sense, I knew that much. Shade. Ruler. What's the ruler's? Okay, now I'm starting to have different thoughts. I don't know who this girl is, obviously. So I'm trying to think what event happened in the heist history in which Shade would be one misunderstanding and everyone is forever an outcast of the world, cursed for eternity. A misunderstanding. Wasn't it Silver? Back in the Torm incident, that got into a Twitter battle involving me, and I believe it was Silver versus Torm, which caused him to postpone the video he was about to make about me and post a video about the Twitter incident because he got suspended. I think that was Silver, and if so, then this is starting to make sense that it could be this instead of the chess tournament. Now, was the beginning part intended to mislead me? This is what I'm starting to think. This whole thought of misunderstandings is what kind of leads me to believe that this is what it's supposed to be talking about. But I'm not too sure. And if that's true, then the C could mean cadaver, which would be Torm, make Torm the ruler, and the girl... Who's that one girl? From Shade's... If I think back to Shade's story, which, yeah, I read that first. I believe I've said this. That one girl where... Fanax! What if this... Is this girl Fanax? I don't know. Enough speculation. Let's read on. But I will give the story this. This story is making me think. It's well written, for the most part. Certainly better than all the other stories that I've read so far, other than Shades. Although Shades did have grammatical mistakes, this is a bit more perfect in regards to grammar. Then this all makes sense. Okay, I gulped. If this girl wasn't lying... Okay, no, okay, hold on. More speculation. What is leaving the job 5 minutes early? Obviously, this is somewhat important, but I can't tell what this is referencing. What is the job? Alright. That could have been me. Even though none of this made sense, I knew that much. Don't you want to know how this world works? The girl asked. Do you want to know why these things are the way they are? I guess, I said. I felt uneasy about the whole situation, but that did not quench my curiosity about what was happening. It is because of the logic that rules this place, the girl says. It has defied all other logic in the universe. It is controlled by our ruler. What? I said. I had hoped for a solid exclamation, but what he said to made absolutely no sense. How can logic be controlled by our leader? It just is. Oh, hey, thanks. Oh, man. Okay, my voice is getting a little raspy. I think it's time for another... I need to... I think it's time for another break where I go, you know, get some water. You know, all of this talking makes me thirsty, though, with all this water. Okay. It just is, she said. It's how this realm works. Any way our ruler wants things to be, it is to be. That is why pawns and chess lose all meaning when they reach the other side of the board. Much like us pawns in real life. Once we have no purpose, no benefit to the king, we are nothing. But how? I asked. Why does it work? How does it work? I don't understand. After I said this, the bell to end all work began to ring. There was no way 4 minutes passed this slowly, but when I checked my watch, it read 17:30. I watched as the people flooded out of their workplaces and took to the streets. They failed to notice the two of us already on the road and went to go home and take care of their wives. I never understood why they did not notice us. Perhaps the logic of the world made it so, if truly this logic made anything possible. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Urban, the girl said. Until we meet again. Wait, I yelled. I have so many questions. So Urban is the narrator. Okay, so yeah, that changes. Yeah, this kind of destroys my whole Storm theory because I turn around. I say at the very beginning I can't assume Silver is the narrator, and then I turn around and say so. Assume Silver is the narrator. But she turned around and walked away before I could say anything more, disappearing into the crowd without a trace. I couldn't help but recall what the girl had said. Who's that girl anyway? Why did she call the both of us pawns? How did she know information about the ruler? Why was this guy called Shade punished? What was the logic that rules the universe? But I couldn't dwell on it now. I had to go far before my notice would report me for going home late without permission. I didn't want to break any more rules. I sighed and started to walk home. Everything was suffocating compared to when I first exited the building where I work. I crammed myself between the people walking, striving to reach my house as soon as I possibly could. No other events out of the ordinary happened to me on the way home, with the exception of a patrol car passing by. I was scared for a while, but the car drove straight past me in pursuit of some other criminal. There was no other punishment to happen yet. I had already received my warning. When I finally reached my house, I entered inside in relief. Today had been quite a monstrous day with the exception of what had happened. Monotonous day with the exception of what had happened after I left work early, and even that encounter tired me out with all the stress that came with it. I was glad I lived alone so I wouldn't have to explain to anyone why I was stressed coming home every day, especially today. I plopped down on my couch and vowed to relax for the rest of the night, but I couldn't stop thinking about my encounter with that girl. I sat and thought about everything that happened and realized I had more questions I wanted to ask that girl. How did she know my wedding? To be continued. Okay, so now this is obviously going to be one of those submissions that Lost probably had to ask Silver what the fuck this was referencing. Like, chess was mentioned, and Urban is the narrator. Urban's nature of questioning bullshit is no surprise to anyone. The ruler. The ruler could be Lost Milan. If it was Lost Milan and Silver was the girl, because The leader is gold, I am only silver. That makes sense. Silver wrote this. Then, yeah, this all being about Torm doesn't make sense anymore. I'm actually quite stumped with this one. Well, You know, I think Lost Mulan probably took points off for this being too hard to decipher, but it's an interesting puzzle. However, it is almost 2:30 in the morning, and it is kind of a bit late for me to really think hardcore about this. Maybe at a later time. Overall, I thought this story was well written, although I couldn't really tell immediately what was being referenced. So that's probably why it didn't get second or first place. I think it got third place. If I were to go check, yep. Okay, yeah, it got third place. I can see why it got third place. It was very well written, but I couldn't come to really understand it too well. It was kind of too cryptic. It's not a bad thing to be cryptic, but when it comes to this level, it's really nasty. Hard to think about. Oh. Way to format. Like, what the okay. Fictional. Who wrote this one? Dairy product. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a gay brick. His name was Retired Orphan. Poor Orphan. He's getting like... It's like the gay brick meme is just kind of getting hammered in with this contest. It's like my server is the only place, the only sanctuary that he could truly be free from it, because he could just ban anyone that makes fun of him. Every day, Retired Orphan did gay brick things, like denying he was a gay brick, having meaningful relationships with other gay bricks, until one day where it all changed. Orphan was just logging into Discord, preparing to be joked about his gay brickiness. Brickiness? I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be an I. Although this isn't a word, this is supposed to be an I. But then, the power suddenly turned off. Confused, he thought to himself, why did the power turn off? If only he knew. Since he didn't have his computer, he decided to grab a snack. But then he heard something. Orphan. Re-upload Minecraft. Orphan thought he was going insane, so he continued to trek to the kitchen. Again, he heard the voice. Orphan. Continue Minecraft. Orphan decided to plan a session with the therapist once the power came back. He reached the kitchen. Great big therapist. Again, for the third time, he heard the voice. Orphan, listen to me, you frickin' frick-fack! Upload Minecraft or I'm gonna kill you! Orphan stopped. He thought for a second that this was all a prank. Probably was. Orphan opened the refrigerator and takes out his favorite snack, a PB&J sandwich. He just takes out a pre-made peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of the fridge. Okay. He starts eating when he hears footsteps. He didn't even hear the door open. Orphan thought, there isn't anyone in the house besides me. Oh well. The footsteps got closer and closer and closer until finally a strange masked man comes into the kitchen. Orphan thought to himself, who is this man? Why does he have a mask that looks like Urba's profile picture? The masked man comes closer. Pardon me, masked figure, but may you please tell me why you're here, said Orphan, surprisingly confident. My album samples. Tightening. It's hard to talk for so long. I am here to kill you, for you have stopped uploading Minecraft and ignored my warnings. There is nothing you can do to prevent your own death, exclaimed the masked man. Nothing? Said Orphan, trying to loophole the situation. Well, said the masked man, conceiving Orphan's spectacular bargaining skills. There's one thing. You see how I kind of stalk you? Well, I also got a stalker by the name of... just some random person. Deal with them within 48 hours. And you'll be set free. I warned you, though. I see you. I always see you. Okay. Orphan was actually pretty confused as the masked man walked out of the room. How was he supposed to know where the stalker was? He could infer that it was Cryptum, judging by the Orphan profile pic. But where could Cryptum be? The power turned back on, and Orphan quickly ran to the computer. He went on Discord and found nothing. He had to think outside of the box for this one. He goes to the attic and takes out a magic lamp that was conveniently stored there. He rubs it out and comes, not a genie, but Las Milan. Oh, hi, Orphan. We didn't know you had this magic lamp. I didn't know you had this magic lamp. Orphan quickly responded with the fact that he didn't know Las Milan was a magic genie. Well, then, what's your singular wish? Said Las Milan, weirdly emphasizing the word singular. I wish for Cryptum's location. Exclaimed Orphan, eager to deal with his internet friend. Your wish is my command, said Lasmon while handing Orphan an envelope. Orphan opens it up while Lasmon sucks back into the lamp. It's instructions, said Orphan, very confused. He continues to read the instructions. It was very simple. Step 1, go outside. Step 2, go to the house to the right of doors. Pretty simple. Step 3, profit. Orphan was astonished by the close proximity of Cryptum. He knocked on the door with his trusty weapon at his side. What trusty weapon? What weapon? Be specific. Don't tell. No one answered. Probably out doing stuff. So Orphan waited and waited until the masked figure reappeared. Just break into the house, El Homo. I mean, Orphan. Just break into the house, El Homo. Oh, God. Like, I tried to pull my Adam's apple further away from my throat, and my throat did not respond well to that. Oh, jeez. Oh, and you have like 36 hours left. Orphan thought about it. Did you read about 12 hours, he thought, while the sun was rising? Oh, well, how are you not hungry or sleeping? He went to the front door to realize it was locked. Back door? He tried that. Nope. Carpet? Orphan checks out under the welcome mat. A key. Using this newfound key, he attempts to open the door. Quick success. Key to the map. Using his super sneaky powers, Orphan tiptoes up the stairs. He checks one room. Nope, another room. Still nothing, but he checks the third room, and what does he see? A person in bed with a mask that has crisp back on it. Strange. Orphan looks around some more, with no traces of other people. This other masked man must be the target. He grabs his trusty weapon, a speaker, to blast out some creepy music. He takes it and puts it beside the person's ear. Time to take out the combo. And then Orphan got knocked out. Wake up, Orphan, wake up. Hey, Orphan recognizes the rest of the man that he sent him on this mission. I can't believe you got tricked by the good old plank to the head. Oh well, anyway, you have 2 hours to deal with the person by now. They are the other side of the world, so what do you want to just kill you now? Orphan looks at it around. He seems to be back at his house. Well, Orphan, I can do a lot in 2 hours, said Orphan, obviously lying. Well, fine, you got 2 hours until your test, said the masked man as he walked away. Orphan got up and his feet and decided to make a trip back to the Russian bear vodka big drink person. Outcome. No, Orphan, no more wishes, said the genie and went back to the lamp. Orphan was stumped. How is he going to get out of this one? But then an idea struck. He waited 2 hours waiting the masked man's arrival. Then he just... Well, Orphan, time to die. The masked man's words were cut off by Orphan grabbing his signature weapon and throwing it at the masked man. What is this? The masked man, seconds before his demise. Hey, Mr. Patrick, how do you do? I'm recording footage just for you. Speaker, said the speaker as the masked man was dying in pain. Justice, said Orphan's trying as he turned off the speaker. Well, then what do I do with this dead body? Oh, okay. He's just genuinely an idiot. Puts a fucking blank page at the end of the... Okay, well that was the ride of the stories. This is a little more minor reference, but it's still there. It's still a reference. It's still a fairly good reference. It's not a major event, but it doesn't have to be. Oh boy. Well, obviously I can't say that the writing was particularly good here, but I did enjoy reading it. I guess I suppose that's what usually matters. So it's not terrible. Of the lower end quality when it comes to the writing, this is probably in the middle. I really enjoyed it. Alex is probably the best of the low quality writing submissions. Live Determined. Oh boy, let's see where this one goes. Submission by Josh Smack. LoreJam, Josh H. Live Determined. Shit! Yelled the man. Ugh! Blood dripped from the wound. His name was Elijah. Elijah von hiking the up. Up. Okay, what the fuck? The Appalachian trial. He had just fallen down a hill and cut open his arm. He quickly ruffled through his backpack for bandages. Oh, he means trail. This says trial, and I was really fucking confused. He had just fallen down a hill and cut open his arm. He quickly ruffled through his backpack for bandages. He poorly bandaged the cut. It was about 3 inches long. He didn't know what he cut it on. He climbed up the hill and continued on his way. He felt weak. Maybe he had lost so much blood. He decided to set up his tent for the night, even though the sun wouldn't set for an hour. Just as the sign was setting, he heard someone outside. He crawled out of his tent. The first thing he saw was the assault rifle pointed at his face. What the fuck? Who are you? Why do you have an AR pointed at me? The other man was still silent for a moment. Then he said, "Are you infected?" Elijah's response was quick. "What? No, but I have an SD cup. Why would you point an AR at someone if they were sick?" The man thought for a moment and softly spoke. "You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?" He continued before Elijah answered. "It's an infection. Highly contagious, spreads through any means of touch or bodily fluids, possibly air too. Also, everyone in New York is dead." Okay. Elijah had panic in his voice. "Everyone in New York? Like the state?" The man was emotionless. "Yes, I am Josh, by the way, Elijah. I'm going to set up camp here." The only warning from either of them, Josh telling Elijah to grab a gun. The grabbed their stuff and headed south toward Elijah's car. They walked 4 miles and then saw the body. It was contorted into a... Jesus Christ. It's on that level where it's like, it's obviously not intentionally bad, but it's just, oh my god. It was contorted into a horrific shape. It was half-decayed and stuck forever in a scream. It was horrible in discussion. Elijah stepped back in horror. Josh just sighed. "The first time I saw one, I vomited everywhere. Now don't touch it and let's continue." The walked 4 more miles and set up again. Oh my god, it's a... What the fuck? How do you make this mistake so many times? Elijah decided to break the silence. "I think we're in Virginia." "Yeah." "Yes," responded Josh. "We're in Purcellville on the West Virginia and Virginia state line. My car is parked along Route 7. What kind of car? Van. How many seats? 15 usually, but I took the last 2 rows, so 8. Can we get the last 2 rows? Yeah, where are they? Winchester. What are the rows? How many seats? 1 of the 4 joined, so a single seat and 2 joined. 1 of 4 joined. 1 of a single seat and 2 joined. What? Well, we'll put the 4-1 in and use the 3rd war area for storage. Okay then, good night. Good night. Elijah then realized how tired he was and not enough to sleep. He woke up later to screaming. He got up and woke Josh. Josh grabbed his AR and left. There were gunshots. He explained that the people who were infected go insane. And then he went to sleep. Elijah didn't sleep. He was terrified. How can someone get a disease so cruel? The next morning he saw no body. Josh probably buried it. They walked to the van without incident. But at the venue they found a kid around 16 laying on the beach. "They dead," he sobbed. "All dead." Josh said, "Who's dead?" and the teen cried. Elijah was softer, telling the way it was okay. He said his parents were dead, but he wouldn't say his name. They decided to call him Orphan. Orphan was silent the whole ride. Josh and Elijah spoke of the survival plans. They needed food. Oh my god. When they got to Winchester, it was abandoned. There were bodies in the streets, hundreds. They looked like zombies, but they were getting up ever again. But we are, oh my god, getting up ever again. Josh spoke up. It's luck we found each other so early. If we didn't, it might have taken months to find other people. Orphan spoke the first time in a while. You mean we might be the last? Elijah responded instead of Josh. No, a lot of people are dead, but there are too many people in the world to have only 3 survivors. They arrived at Elijah's home in the suburbs of Winchester, Virginia. They grabbed as much food, clothes, and other supplies as they could. Okay, I'm just going to make this call right now. I'm probably going to be the crazy fucker that kills everyone because Josh hates me. Or is it Dylan? Yeah, Dylan hates me more. Elijah changed his bandage. It was only it might affect his cut. There was a mechanical silence as that worked. When they were done, Josh said we needed to go to stores and loot. Orphan spoke up. Why? Isn't that illegal? There is no law. Josh said, we're doing this to survive. In the town center, where there we are, the most bodies. Oh my god. I hate the grammar here. They left Orphan at the van so he wouldn't go into a worse shock. They looted gun stores and anywhere there were non-perishable food. They also took flashlights, batteries, solar flashlights, and anything that would last a while. They decided to see if they couldn't find a town that didn't have many bodies instead of a permanent camp there. There was much debate if they should go south or west. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off right here. What is this referencing? Zombie apocalypse with Orphan, Lost One, and Josh Nick as the survivors. Elijah said that's because there would be more people on the other side of the mountains. Josh said south because none of them would survive the winter and they didn't have warm clothes. They decided to head to Tennessee because that was a compromise. The drive would be long, so they grabbed some food things for Blight. Also, they needed items for civilization so that they wouldn't go inside from celerity. On the way there, they set up a pack of dogs. They were tamed ones, probably there were about 5. They came to the van, despite Elijah and Josh telling him not to Orphan open the door. 3 of the dogs jumped in and 1 ran off. The last one Elijah realized wasn't a dog, but a baby coyote. He got out to see if he could urge the dog in, but it ran into the woods after the other one. Now they had 3 dogs and they couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, they absolutely loved Orphan. The 3 were very contrasting. There was a border collie, a brown and black dog that seemed like a mix, and a small spaniel-like dog that seemed purebred, but they didn't know the breed. A border collie was male and the other 2 females. At the next town, they stopped at a car shop and put a rack on the roof for extra storage. They then went to the pet shop and grabbed as much food and water for the dogs as they could. They went to the grocery shop, but there was a mess. So almost nothing they can grab except for 12 boxes of mac and cheese. Now there isn't many humans, rats and other pests would multiply like. Now that there isn't many humans, rats and other pests would multiply like crazy. We need rat poison. So they moved on to the next one. The dogs were good. They didn't whine and they kept Orphan happy. Orphan wouldn't talk much before the dogs. But he spoke a lot now. He hadn't said his name, possibly because he wanted to be called Orphan. They stopped at the next town in Tennessee. Somehow at this town, the infection was held off until recently. There were people running and screaming. There were others just flopping on the ground. In fact, it used Splash. It did nothing. It was chaos. If Orphan had experienced this, it would make sense why they had such a bad condition. They decided to drive to the outskirts and see if there were survivors. The next day, the town was silent. Somehow, someone had started a fire and it burned unopposed. There was a woman sitting in the town square, sitting over a body. She was holding a gun. The body before her had a single bullet wound to the head. Hey, yelled Josh. Motherfucker, not more, yeah. She replied, turning the safety off on her gun. No, we're not sick, yelled then from the south of the screen. Get into the car, yelled Josh. We don't know if they just got infected or how far away they are. They ran. When they got to the van, Orphan asked what had happened. They all said nothing has cut off. Orphan looked confused. They were probably too young to grasp before full situation, even though he was probably somewhere between 15 and 17. Wait a minute. Around 16. Okay. At the shock of seeing his loved ones die would forever affect his brain. He will forever be scarred. He may live his life without hope, or he may move on. He might also turn gay. Sorry. The world may never know his troubles, but they will know they are there. They sped off on the highway. They drove about 2 miles before they slowed down. They were all shaken. None of them knew how close the infected were. They drove on, worried that they could be ambushed at any time. Although I'm pretty sure if you're going 70 miles down the freeway, they're not going to do much to you. They exited the highway 20 miles from where they started, but they found themselves near the National Guard of Tennessee. This is a good place to set up a permanent camp, said Josh. A well-off town near a highway with the base practically already here. These fences won't hold off much, stated Elijah. In 2 months there will be nothing to hold off, replied the woman, who said her name was Carrie on the trip here. Wait, whoa. The woman. But hold on. Hold on. We don't know if they just got infected or how far they ran. How'd they get through? So I was under the impression that they ran away from the woman and escaped her. Why the fuck is she here? What do you mean, Elijah questioned. The infected, as you call them, die after a day or two. It will eventually be safe to roam the country, even the continent, without meeting another human. And now they're talking rationally. What the fuck? This is a plot hole, and it's bothering me. They debated whether they should set up here or move further west. They decided to stay. Whatever town this was, it was going to be a haven of survivors, so they decided to remain. This town was to be called Hopesville. They chose this name because of Orphan, who hadn't spoken for a while. They were going to choose Havenstown, a boring and obvious choice, but for once, Orphan looked a little happy, maybe even proud that they chose his name. The town had a small airport. They decided to go see what was left there. To their surprise, there was a small jet. It had no fuel, but it was good to know it was there. Turns out Carrie knew how to fly. Ho! Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay, who's Carrie? Who's Carrie? It was reassuring because they found where the jet fuel was. They could travel long. If they found where the jet fuel was, they could travel long distances. They decided to fortify the airport as well. The next week was uneventful. They debated whether to move the military equipment to the airbase, where there was more room, or to stay. They decided to move. They needed the space for new survivors. They got their first survivor on week 2 of the base. They got a group of them. They came from the south. There were 2 women, 1 girl, and 3 men. All except the 1 woman and a man decided to stay. The other 2 wanted to see the continent now that the world had ended. This is where the story gets repetitive. They meet people who wanted to stay. Many, probably in shock, continue the journey. The town grew. They sent out scout groups to search the world for more survivors. They built houses, established gun government, gave out rations. No one was out of place here. The survival of the town depended on equality. The disastrous spawned a utopia. There was hope in the desolate world. They solved problems as a group, and they prospered. Okay, so these are the last of the ones that were uploaded to last month's Wattpad. This was supposed to reference an event in Heist's history. I don't think it references any of them. What is the zombie apocalypse? But it's an infection that makes everyone crazy, and then they just die after a day or two. What the fuck? Lost Milan, Joshnik, and some random fucker I'm at a loss for words here. The story wasn't written well. Doesn't reference an actual event in heist history. It was really boring, actually. I wasn't into it like I was in, say, Silver Story. I'm trying to understand what's going on, but like I understand that I'm still trying to figure out what this could be referencing. Was this talked about? Like there was a for the people that were there when this was announced. I wasn't there because I had an interview. And I had to prepare for it and stuff like that. I wonder if this was talked about because it really bothers me. Now, if you excuse me, I need to pee. All right, I'm back. Now, if you've noticed this, this is here now. I decided that I might end up looking at what Lasse's responses were, which is what this document is, and maybe going over that real quickly. I don't know how late I'm going to stay up doing this stuff. It's almost like 3, and it's just doing this. At least I don't have to go over shades. That would take like a fucking hour. Now, I believe this one was made by iPhones, who actually talked to me a very little bit about his submission. Like, very little. He talked about, I think, because he wanted to see if it was okay for me to talk about it. I don't remember. But, oh yeah, this is not supposed to be about. Hello, my name is Phones. No, your name is iPhones. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure your name is iPhones. Comma conjunction. And I'm going to tell you of a time of war and strife for 2 kingdoms. The Kreveda and the Shati. The Shaddai. The Shaddai. Shaddai. He's told me how to pronounce this, god damn it, I don't remember. The Shetty. I'm just gonna say Shetty. The Kreveda and the Shetty. Kingdoms once allies and now foes. It's a normal day, just like any other, I thought to myself. What could go wrong? Well, a lot can go wrong, actually. Oh my god, I hate the way that... I hate this sentence. Many things can happen, and bad things are a part of that. Oh my god. But this is worse than bad. A war has actually started between us and the Shetty, and I never thought it possible, albeit our relationship hasn't been too great lately, but this is just madness. Okay, let's run on sentence. It started when Node, no thanks, the royal advisor for the Shetty, had insulted our kingdom. We hadn't known why nor if he meant to start war, but he had. Our King Torm was outraged by the insult and sent our armies to the Shetty, attacking them repeatedly, but the Shetty wouldn't back down and they attacked back. The sniveling dog of a person, Node, has decided to take it upon himself to repeatedly ask me why my visits to the Shetty had stopped. And after I answered him, his people had harassed me. Torm bellowed throughout the plaza. What right has he to insult us? We have done nothing wrong to him, so why does he wrong us so? Torm had been furious and was holding a kingdom-wide meeting to discuss the war. On multiple occasions, I had attempted to be reasonable, but they have been rude and unsavory. I have heard enough. I didn't want to hear any more of how they insulted our king. I stormed off to the tavern, wishing to drink my sorrows away. The strangest thing had happened when I first entered that tavern. A nameless mercenary whom we call the Blade for his talent with a sword had greeted me. Phones. Life been treating you well? I stayed silent and sat down at the bar, ordering some mead. Come on, don't play like that. Are you upset about this war? He asked me, and finally I spoke. Yes, I am. It isn't right what they did, and they deserve to be plague-stricken. The Blade had laughed. Friend, they aren't so bad. You've only received the propaganda from your king. I've made many trips to Shetty, and I can assure you, they're nice people. Really, I asked. I was unsure because of all the things Torm had said. Yes, really, I'll bring you there if you like, if only for a modest fee. He said it and then laughed. Fine, take me. But if any harm shall befall me, I'll have your head. I said sarcastically, haha, now, yes, we shall set up within an hour. You should pack your things. Now, yes, pack up, go, and hurry. Yes, now go back and hurry up. So I left the town to go home and get my things. Where should I even go? I asked myself. It's not like he can force me, but then I thought, well, having on the other side of the store couldn't be so bad. So I had grabbed some coins to pay, my cloak, and my father's old sword. Old. On my way to the tavern, I heard Torm still holding the meeting. I threw my hood up and met the blade. Is this supposed to be a period? I threw my hood up and met the blade. Haha, so you're coming with me? Yes, I have to. I'll buy it for a different reason than you proposed. So be it. I was kidding about paying me, by the way. I have to go there regardless. I was a bit annoyed. Oh, thanks, I said sarcastically. Let's head off then. Blade started jogging outside the walls. I reluctantly followed him, holding my sword close. After some time, we made it to the halfway point and decided to set up camp. Well, friend, we're halfway there. Why don't we rest? If you say so, I said, yawning. So we camped on a ridge. I had actually enjoyed it, surprisingly. I don't get out much. Morning had claimed, and I got up. Blade was nowhere to be found. Friend, hello, help! I heard him cry as I ran over. What I saw there was a nightmare. His leg had broken, assumingly falling off the ridge. I'm in a bit of a pickle. Sorry, friend. I don't think I can help you make it. Then, how about I carry you on my shoulder and give you direction? And you give directions. I'm determined to make it. You do that? Well, we're pretty far in the trip, sure. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a different speaker here. The grammatical errors in this one are not as bad as the ones in the last one, but they're still distracting. I picked them up and we started walking. About a quarter away from the shetty, he spoke, You know, they aren't bad people, but you should try to lie low. Some of them really have it in for Cravata. I'll keep that in mind, I said, clutching my sword in the sheath. Once we made it, I had sat Blade down just outside the wall. We're here. Where should I bring you? Just bring me in. Someone always greets me. They'll take me to a doctor. All right. I, with Blade on my shoulder, reluctantly entered. Blade, what happened? Are you okay? This woman asked. Yes, I'm fine. And this man here saved my life. He winked at me. Can you get me to a doctor? Yes. And she hurriedly went and got Blade off my shoulder onto hers. She was surprisingly strong. This is semicolon, not a comma. I went to the plaza by myself, and someone had recognized me. Hello, Cravata person, they said. Hello, Cravata person, they said with disgust. I had clutched my sword handle and walked further in. I mean you no harm. I have come with no malice. In fact, I wish to know either side of the tale of this war. I had said, hoping they get it. Luckily, their king had been there, Lost, who had said, That's good to hear, young lad. So you wish to hear our tale? Yes. Well, I shall tell you if you truly have no malicious intent. And so he told me the entire tale. Well, that's our side. Hope you enjoyed it thoroughly. He said, I would have liked it if this was a time issue. I'd get why he didn't include this, but I would have liked to see his writing of our side of the story, because we did give it to him. Lost and myself did give it to him. I gave it to him in a huge document. I'm still recording, right? Yeah, okay, I'm not an idiot. Which he would have given something brief, because he did do that to Torm. A little consistency. It's a minor gripe, but I wish instead of. Well, as I said, I hope you enjoyed it thoroughly, he said, and I had finally understood they don't want this war to continue. So, being the foolish young man I was, I decided to take it upon myself to solve this. Although Lost and his court had no objections, they thought me to be a fool. I walked to the castle and requested presence with Node, the man who started this all, but the captain of the guard, Orphan, had stopped me. Why do you request presence with Node? Okay. So you walk in, and you can talk to the king with no objections, but all of a sudden Orphan steps in and says, No, you can't talk to me. You can't talk to Enter. As he said smugly, I simply wish to work out peace, that is all. Fine, do as you wish, but we warn, should any harm befall Node, I shall personally have your head understood. Now, I'm not the king here. Don't get this misunderstood. Yes, sir, I said rather sarcastically, and I started making my way up the Node. When I found Node, he looked shaken and tired. It seemed that this war hurt him the most. Node, I've come to discuss peace. Is that alright? Sure, I suppose we could. Answered Node. Sure, we could, answered Node. I understand why you could be confused about this, but either don't put anything here at all or put a comma, because if you put a period here and then capital A here, it denotes another sentence, but this is the same. This would supposed to be the same sentence. It's the same subject. It's a continuation of. Okay, why am I doing this? So I sat down and discussed many things with them, such as how he may have started the war, but Torm had way overreacted to what Node had done. I had understood even more now that this ever was a pointless ever that this was a pointless war. Do you think you could silence all naysayers in your kingdom? I believe if you stop insulting our kingdom and sending troops, we should be fine. I agree. I'll have to take up with loss. However, because not everyone in this kingdom listens to me. Good. I'll glad we can make peace. I said with a smile as I had my hand out for a handshake. Good for peace. No said as he took my hand. I have a feeling we'll be fast friends if this war ends. That's actually kind of not how our DMs with phones went. It kind of went. At first, iPhones was like, oh, there's no way I could be friends with this guy. But we talked for like separate times for a long while until he's finally admitted that he could possibly be friends with me. After that, I had made many friends trips to and from the Shady Kingdom, trying to be diplomatic and nice. In fact, Orphan had decided to host a music competition. I suppose he isn't as gruff as I first thought. I wish I could participate in this competition because I love music, but it's okay that I can't because many other more talented musicians are competing and I can listen to their music. I and Node have also stayed in touch through letter, mainly delivered by Blade. Additionally, it seems Torm has seen the war as pointless as well, and all conflict has ceased. In fact, I'm going to meeting here as we speak to. In fact, I'm going to a meeting as we speak to go and speak with Torm about all of this. Hopefully, he is rather reasonable. I have to say, this has been a wild ride, but if anything, I learned never to take a situation at face value. Epilogue. Today is a great day. I've decided to participate in a contest held by Lost itself, in which writers from either kingdom can write stories and submit them. Honestly, I have high hopes I'll win, but who knows? There could be some tough competition. Overall, I'm glad we made pace. It's been for the better, although things are a bit shaky from time to time. iPhones. Phones. Overall, I thought the representation was interesting, but there were a couple of I pointed out my minor issues with the way the story was written, grammatically and all. Very common. I'm griping about this for basically everyone's, except for like people who actually did a really good job with it. The representation wasn't entirely accurate, but it was good enough. But there are a couple of problems, like I pointed out. I wish he would have elaborated it a little more. Period, actually. There are points in the story that I feel as if were cut down a little unfairly, and if those were developed a little bit, I think the story as a whole would have benefited from it. So, other than that, I think that this is a pretty good submission. I've already read this one. I've mentioned this, so we only have 2 left. Never Fall in Love and Gabriel Orphan the Dating Simulator. Oh boy. What is this one named? Who wrote this? Never Fall in Love. Oh, why the fuck? You had to pick this stupid. Okay. Okay. I don't think this is going to be too hard to read, although it's a little annoying that he had to. This isn't just a serif font. It's just. Sugar roofie. Sugar cookie. Sugar cookie. Ah, sugar. Sugar. My father gave me 3 rules to live by. 1. Always keep your grades at the top of your priorities. 2. Always be sure to understand what you're doing before you do so. 3. Never fall in love. The first 2 were easy, but the third one proved difficult, all because of a cheese. came out of left field. Oh, what? This reminds me of the fucking SpongeBob episode where he falls in love with a Krabby Patty that's shaped in the head of a girl. Oh my god. He goes around taking it on dates and it's about ready to lay the thing when it turns moldy and gross. I don't really understand what the moral of that story was supposed to be. I hope this is like exactly like this. Oh boy. Let me explain. It all began when I walked into this restaurant. It was called A Heist Gone Wrong, due to the fact that it was supposed to be some weird dinner with a show joint. Dinner with a show joint. Although I would have probably put dinner with a show in quotation marks, but that's just me. One of the actors caught my eye, but I didn't know his name. His role was retired Orphan or something like that. His role? I think, anyway, I'd ordered a cheeseburger at this place. The waiter left me and said it's the best thing in the place, as did my friend Internet. Ah, we're friends. As we were eating, the show began. I looked over at Etrudot and he just sort of shrugged as the lights went down. I sighed to myself, continuing to eat as I watched the stage, that there are some very weird capitalization here. Orphan saw him. That was when I. Oh, is this supposed to be? Oh, there's a fucking period here. This gay font is hiding periods from me. Like, what the fuck? That was when I saw him, Orphan. The way his eyes lit up as he was on stage, running around and yelling at everyone as if he was in charge or whatever was going on. I honestly can't remember what it was. But the weird law seems to get super involved with the entire thing as he started yelling at Orphan, telling him to shut up, and then he knew what he was doing. I really didn't understand it. I just kept watching Orphan. Is this a ship? Soon enough, the actors and actresses began running off of the stage, looking for someone to hold as their hostage. Orphan ran over to me with a sneer on his face, grabbing my arm and pulling me out of my chair and on stage. I've got her. He yelled to everyone. This one's the hostage. Put her in the cell. I'm sure the owner of this joint will turn over the cash. She's quite the beauty, if I do say so myself. At this point, I was flustered and blushing, but they put me in the cell anyway. I didn't understand, but Lost leaned over and whispered to say, just say and do whatever you think would fit in. We aren't going to harm you, it's all just a show. He stood up again, his voice loud now. Do you understand me? Silence. I said, do you understand me? He looked at me quickly. Yes, sir, I understand you. Do it. Whatever you ask. Just please let me go. I began to tug at the bars of the cell. A metal sound resonating through the building. I looked at Enterno, who seemed tense by what was going on. Was he okay with this? I looked at Orphan again, who looked at me with stern eyes. He just shook his head with a laugh before going back to talking with the other actors and actresses. Eventually, the curtains closed. They let me out of my cell. The fight was over. Orphan came over to me and held out a hand, which I took. He helped me out of my cell somewhat ungracefully, as I kind of fell into his chest as he tugged lightly. I looked at him with what seemed like stars in my eyes, and he raised an eyebrow at me, pushing me off of him softly. I blushed, standing straight. What's your name, anyway? He asked me as he started to reset the stage for the next play that was supposed to show in 2 hours. I just shrugged my shoulders with a sigh, letting my gold honey curls fall loosely on my shoulders. My crystal blue eyes glistened. Character describing yourself without an excuse to do so kind of bothers me a little bit. You're telling that this is supposed to be a first-person narrative, and yet you're giving a character description of yourself. It just bothers me a little bit. Kitty. My name's Kitty. I smiled at him, biting my lower lip. Kitty, I like that. What's your boyfriend's name over there? He motioned to where my table was, where Entered was seated patiently, waiting for me to return. He seemed tense. Oh no, he's not my boyfriend. I said with a name. He's just my friend. He was in town this week, and I thought we'd stop by and see how everything is. He seemed happy by that. I got excited when he pulled out a slip of paper, beginning to write his number on it. He handed it to me, and I smiled brightly, my eyes wide and shining. He looked at me and took a breath, shaking my nervousness. Well, in that case, you give him my number? Oh my god. I did not see that coming. Now, I think that's a little cheating. Proved difficult all because of a cheeseburger. Now, it kind of set the tone like she was the one who fell in love. Oh man. That sucks. Oh man, poor Orphan. He's doing all. He's getting like hammered by this. He's talking. Now, when I gave my forecast to Lost about what the most written about thing was going to be, I genuinely thought it was going to be the Torm incident, but no, it's fucking Gabrick Orphan. Almost every single goddamn story. Oh, especially this last one. Orphan must have had a really hard time. I feel so bad for him. Oh my god. Okay, why is just Dropbox freaking out over here? Oh, apparently I'm losing internet. Okay, that's lovely. In any case, last story, and then I'm probably am gonna look over this. It's 3 in the morning. I'm not fucking tired in the slightest, which is weird. Oh my god, it's a PowerPoint. Gabrick Orphan, the dating simulator. Aspelan's masterpiece. Fucking ants. My room is very strange when it comes to ants. They don't go after food. They go after water. We live on the 7th floor. It's like by the time they get up here, it's like, oh, I'm so thirsty. See themselves like drowning themselves in the water filter. It's like fucking ridiculous. Anyway, Gabrick Orphan, the dating simulator. Aspelan's masterpiece. Hello, my name is Retired Orphan. I compose garbage EDM music that no one listens to. Oh, and I'm gay. Oh my god. And when I looked at this, I did not see this part of the URL. I am sick and tired of being single. Today I will try to find a Gabrick partner once and for all. Hey. Oh crap, I feel sudden desire to not speak anymore. I must fight it with all I have. I cannot let some girl prevent me from being who I actually am. Hey Orphan, wanna join me? Sure, gladly. What am I doing? I should not give in to this temptation. What will the king say? Oh no, here he is. Hello, Orphan. Have I not told you about this before? Yes, my king. I'm sorry. This is a stupid king, but I promise it won't repeat again. My memes must stay strong. If you become straight, all that will be left for you is of you is your worthless moves. Christ. I know, sir. I know. Orphan, what's going on? Who are you talking to? Oh, it's no one. I swear. I'm just enjoying the beautiful thing. Where do you want to go? There's this great restaurant called Orphan. Want to go there? I do definitely know. Get out of my restaurant, you dumbass mofos. I'm tired of people pestering me to serve them pasta. I don't like serving pasta. Oh my god, if the entire fucking Torm situation could be summed up in one side, it's this. Get out of your restaurant, you dumbass mofos. I am tired of people pestering me to serve them pasta. I don't like serving pasta. Ouch. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Oh no, this waiter is insulting us. Orphan, choose something, please. Yes, sweetheart, I will. Hey there, idiot waiter. Don't you want to have to do? You don't want to have to deal with me. Screw you, you dumbass piece of bullcrap. You can't do nothing against me. That's where you look. I like the box of Jenga in the background. That's wrong, kiddo. I was using my superpower of making garbage AM music to make a track about you that would be so bad that your ears will bleed. What is up, mental patients? Tormental here, and this Gabrick dude is telling me what to do. He says my ears will bleed like he's in control of my body parts. No one tells me what to do. Oh my god! It's fucking 3 in the morning, and I can't fucking. Oh, you made a rant video about me. Guess what? I don't care. Well, I'll homo you with this time. Hooray! Thank you for protecting me, Orphan. You're my hero. No problem. I'll always protect you. Did I not tell you to stop? And yet you did not listen. Hereby you are now officially excluded from the secret meme community. Oh, I'm a king. I guess I deserve that. Is everything alright? Yeah, that's just I've been excluded from the secret meme community. That's all. I'm a secret meme community. It doesn't sound like you should worry about that too much. Well, if you say so, my lovely. You fool, you have just revealed the secret meme community. Now we have to kill you. No, I didn't. I didn't mean to reveal it. I swear. There's only one thing you can do. Kill the person you revealed the secret to. What? I don't think I can, sorry. No, we should just not prepare for your death. Well, fine, I'll do it. Hey, kitty? What? I'm sorry. I'm just having a bad day. It seems like everything is hopeless. Oh, I was not bad. Is there anything I can do for you? I don't think so, Homo, but thank you. Oh my god. El Homo. I'm just blasting through these because it's not... Okay, I'll be right back then. What, have you done what we asked for? No, sorry, I just can't do it. Then you know what's coming down. Party. What? Alright, Kitty, I'm back. Sorry this took so long. Kitty? Who's Kitty? You? What are you talking about, honey? Oh, I ain't Kitty. I am. Back to sword. What the fuck? I didn't think he'd be making a return to my life. I thought he'd just kind of disappear after I played Dota with him that one time. I think it was yesterday he joined my server, Starfresh, and played League with Pending. Oh wait, that was today, wasn't it? Oh, it might have been today. Or wait, just 3 in the morning. Yesterday. Wait, what? This is crazy. This cannot be happening. None of this can. Somewhere in the distance. Oh, Homo, wake up. Phew, this was all just a dream. Time to get up and go to school as usual. El Homo, wake up. We made a rant video about your unending gameness. Your sadistic music sounds like complete garbage and you can't even find a gay rig partner. That's how much of a loser you are. What the hell is this? Why? No, the end. That was alright. Oh man, only Evie can keep me sane here. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's so cute, but it's so don't do that. It hurts. Don't gnaw on that. And now the final mile. Let's check out this document. I made the comments for some of the stories short so I could focus more on the other ones. That's why I gave it Orphan, the dating singer. The plot, the characters, the formatting, everything about the story is great, and it truly deserves first place. I've been bribed by Orphan to place his submission last, otherwise it would have been first. Osmalon, bitrayl by me. Not enough words in 4.8 words per minute. Nice job. What? Oh. Not enough words in 4.8 words per sentence. Nice job. NozBugs, LoreJam, NozBugs. Not enough words in nonsensical storyline, but at least it's fun to read. No, I was expecting a little more when it came to these comments, but it's the Strangler. The Strangler's worse than Best Day. The storyline in this masterpiece makes even less sense than in Noz's, and the writing style makes it hard to read. But at least it meets met the word requirements. Cryptum, a remarkable incident. This is definitely better than the submissions which scored lower than this. Oh, really? And the beginning of it is very promising. However, it just doesn't turn into anything good towards the end. The word choice is nice at times, and it fits the theme, but more work could have been put in it. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. Josh Nick, Live Determined. This is a weird story to talk about. It doesn't describe any particular event, and the references in it are simply the characters. I'm not a big fan of the storyline, as it is often confusing, and the reasoning behind it should have been explained better. It is not great grammatically either. However, it is a nice story and feels more complete than the lower ones do. Good job. It is a more complete story, but it is the writing was really pretty bad. The story itself was I don't know. I think this should have scored higher than Josh Nick's. This is just a gripe of mine. Small gripe. Alex, An Adventure Gone Wrong. This is definitely a fun and uplifting story. It contains many references to our community, making it strongly fit the theme. The storyline is weak, though. It's not often consistent, and the more things are left unexplained than should be. I enjoyed the story, and it was fun. Good job. Yeah, it was a fun story to read. I definitely agree with that. As for it not being very consistent, he did just say that the events were decided by a dice roll, which is a very strange choice to make. That was probably explained by the axe. What did he roll, a 1? iPhones, Kingdom at Odds. The story portrays the real-life events relatively accurately and is overall a nice story to read. It's not great grammatically or in terms of the storyline, but it seems more complete and coherent than Alex's overall. Good job, and thank you for participating. Yeah, I guess. Fictional. This is actually a funny and enjoyable story, and incorporates a number of our memes into the storyline successfully. It is still not a very serious submission, and the English could have been better, but it was very fun. Good job. Never Fall in Love. Great short story, great formatting, great ending. This was the first story I read, and I was pleasantly surprised by the plot twist. Tier's difference is pretty much entirely the reason for this story's place. It was written more professionally than Dairies and Blows, but its short length and lack of content kept it from getting into the top 3. Nice job, though. Which is really fucking ironic, considering what the second place submission was. Silver Sprinkles, Pawns. This was the hardest choice for me to make. When I first saw the story, I thought it would be another one of those boring stories which has a storyline either weak or irrelevant. However, as I read on, I realized just how wrong I was. The story was so deep and meaningful that I was actually amazed. I did not instantly understand the references it had to offer, but when I found out about what they actually were, I found them cool and fitting. The only reason the story didn't get a high score is because it only distantly relates. It is only distantly related to the High Server. That doesn't make it fit the theme. Make it not fit the theme, but I have to give credit to the ones who do so a higher extent. Still, this is a spectacular story. It was definitely the most well-written story. That is, hands down, no contest. This was the most well-written. With Kitty's coming very close second. Of course, I'm not including mine at all because I would be a little biased. War of the Guardians. This is definitely a high-tier story. It is written well and fits the theme just as much as the story can. The storyline is solid, and though not as deep as Sprinkles, It is more practical and has more characters, all interesting. It definitely needs more content, though. This is evident from the story itself. However, lack of content doesn't make the story bad, and I hope you complete it. Great job. I had a lot of shit going on in my life that prevented me from writing more. This is definitely what was supposed to be the introduction to a much greater story, but I didn't have the time and energy to sit down and write the rest of it, which I am sad about because I could have easily gotten first place because of this with it. Maybe in the future. Shin was the god of torment. By the time I was done reading the story, I had no more doubts in my head regarding the identity of the LoreJam's winner. The other high-tier stories of the event, which I greatly enjoyed, are overshadowed by this one. The story is not just solid, it drags the reader in and holds their attention for the entirety of the story's 17 chapters. After each segment, I couldn't wait to find out what happened next, and at the end I wanted more. The way the story portrays real-life events is epic to say the least. It also portrays its characters very well, making it pretty much all of them interesting. While I was reading the story, I was fully captivated by it and had the feeling of experiencing an actual professional story and not a LoreJam submission of a gaming community. I could imagine a lot of what was described in the story in my head, and it greatly appreciated me. It greatly impressed me. Oh my god. It's like 3:30. Toward the end, I felt bad for Tormenta, likely because of how well you portrayed his change of attitude. The story is truly epic and very interesting to read. Flaws, minor grammatical mistakes, couldn't care less. I definitely agree with this top submission. I'm just gonna go ahead and ignore my submission of this because, well, I don't necessarily know if I deserve the number 2 spot. I definitely, in my opinion, thought I did a very good job writing the story, but at the same time, well, I wrote it. And character descriptions are definitely one of my stronger suits. If you look at the Heist Wiki, I wrote all of the character descriptions for all of the roles. So I've definitely had practice with that. I definitely needed more content, though. It's hard. It was hard to tell us that I couldn't write anything more than this, but at the same time, I just couldn't fucking do it. I don't want to talk about what my plans for the story were, just in case I decide to finish the story at some point. I don't know when. But, yeah. Now, as for Sprinkles and Kitty. Sprinkles, my problem with her story is that I didn't really get it. It was definitely presented well. It was definitely an interesting story. But I didn't really get it. I didn't get how it related to the heist community, like, very much. There were a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, maybe at some point I'll have Silver kind of explain her story so I can enjoy it more. But while I'm sitting here just wondering about it, although I doubt she will, because if her latest ships have taught me anything, then yeah. This Never Fall in Love story, I thought the short length and lack of content, I don't actually agree with that. The fact that it was a shorter story doesn't take away from the story itself. It still had a coherent beginning, middle, and end. Although the end was what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a twist ending. There was a climax, there was a falling action, and then there was a resolution, which was the twist ending. It's a complete story. Just because it's short doesn't mean it's lacking anything. It's a complete story. That's why I think it should have been number 2. Definitely. Was her writing better than mine? I mean, there's obviously some sort of reason I got number 2 instead of number 4 here. I definitely didn't deserve number 2. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Was my writing better than Silver's? I don't know. I'd say our writing quality was about equal, but we both had our equal problems. Like my story wasn't complete, and her story wasn't very thematic, I guess. Darius was very Darius was very fun, but at the same time, I thought Alex did the same job that Derry did, but slightly better. It was more fun. I don't know. I don't know why I enjoyed it more, but I did enjoy it more while reading. I think Alex should have gotten a higher score than he did. iPhones, obviously, like I said, this is where I go down and start complaining about the grammar issues. iPhone's portrayal, like I said, was fairly accurate. It was a nice story to read, but it wasn't very well written. If the story was a bit more well written, it definitely should have gotten. It should definitely should would get a higher place than this. But as for completeness, like I get what when I read Alex's, I read this with the understanding that this was supposed to be like a series of short stories. I don't know. I say keep the rankings like put Alex before Darius and then probably put iPhones before Darius. I don't want to rap on Darius so much, but I thought these two stories were definitely had strengths that definitely had strengths that outweighed what Derry wrote. It's not a bad story. What Derry wrote was not a bad story, but I just thought that these two were better. That's just my opinion. Live Determined definitely deserves a slow score for really not fitting the theme at all. I did not. I already told you I didn't like the story. I didn't like the way it was written. The grammar issues were really fucking distracting. Like there are issues that really should have been pointed out. Like the instead of they. Really? Did you have autocorrects to? Did you have an autocorrect that just replaced they with the every time you wrote it? Because that's what it looked like. Oh man, my Adam's apple's starting to get sore again. The story was kind of boring. It was a complete story. Although the ending was kind of like cliche, I guess. Could have definitely improved that there. But there was no real hook that dragged me in and wanted me to really understand what was going on. The whole infection plotline kind of to me rubbed me the way as it was as immense kind of it just screamed plot device. Oh no, there's a conflict. And that's all we kind of really had from it. It wasn't really explained. It wasn't really elaborated on. It was just kind of there. It was just kind of the plot element. We didn't even meet anyone that was truly infected. There were definitely a lot of smaller plot holes, like the ones I described. The woman magically getting into the car, even though she acted all infected. I thought that would be the one time in which we actually got to interact with the infected and see what they actually did, why this infection was such a great deal, but it turns out she was sane. I don't really understand what happened there. It's like, turns out, yeah, she can fly jets, so we can fly all over the place. It's like, oh, okay, but what's the point? You kind of ended the story right then and there. Definitely a lot of things that went wrong with the submissions. Problems that you could address the individual problems, but the overarching problem of this story really not fitting the theme well. This story, its idea, should have been scrapped. I don't doubt your ability to write something better than this. Everyone could have done at least something better, but That's what reviewers are for. I don't remember if Shades was reviewed by anyone. I could probably go check. No, it's not here. But that's what I think. There's a remarkable incident. Krypton's story, this was, I believe, the whole kind of Legends thing. Yep, okay. I hated the formatting of the story. Why? Why? But, I mean, I understand stuff like this. This is fine. But, why is everything in italics? I don't know whether or not I should complain about it. I guess it's not that big of a deal. I do agree with Lasmon in the fact that this story kind of fell off over time and then ended abruptly with this, which isn't even accurate. But whatever. Do I? I think this definitely should have scored higher than Josh Nix, and been like neck and neck with Derry, and maybe even above him. I'm sorry, Derry. Strangler. This. What the fuck was this story? I feel like you like kind of wrote down what happened in your acid trip when you were just like insanely into thinking about heist at the time. You're walking around the road and suddenly everything changed and everything. Definitely things went wrong here. And then losses to joke submissions. Obviously they don't deserve like any place because they're not even qualified. The formatting, it's a fucking PowerPoint. I laughed my ass off at the dating simulator. It was, for a joke submission, it was very, very well made. I will give it that. This is just it's intentional garbage, and it's obviously when you spend it's like you read this and you can tell time and energy was spent into making this garbage. Intentional garbage. And it was intentionally hard to read. It was painful. Like, my God. So, that's what I think. If you haven't read the stories yourself, well, too bad, I just read all of them. If you haven't read Shade's story, you should definitely go read it. It's great. I didn't go through and read it because I knew this was going to be a very long video. I would be up until 4:30 in the motherfucking morning reading, and I just couldn't do it for that long. And plus, I had already read it, so the first impressions part, as long as my reaction wouldn't be there, I gave a very simple synopsis of what I thought about Shade's story at the beginning of the video. I think that's qualified to be my reaction, since my first impressions were kind of ruined. And I obviously didn't read my own story because that would have been narcissistic. If you didn't read those two stories, you should definitely check them out. They're good. But other than that, thanks for sitting through this entire bodcap style let's read video of me reading a bunch of submissions of highest latest LoreJam. Overall, my thoughts on this could have what was I gonna say? Overall, my thoughts on how this event went, I think it went very, very well. The joke submissions are definitely just as appreciated as the real ones are. And I'm definitely happy that they exist because they provide a very nice contrast to, well, not because of that. It's because they're entertaining. They're very entertaining. I love reading these. I loved reading some of these. The 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 submissions that were actual garbage, not so much. But for the people who spent time making something, knowing that they wouldn't win, so they just kind of went with their heart, like that is definitely, in my opinion, it's worth it. I found really good enjoyment from those. As for the theme, I thought the theme was very loose. It was very welcoming. These loose types of themes are only alienating in the fact that people have to come up with what to write about. The Remarka incident is definitely a fruitful event that write about. Torm incident, definitely something, a fruitful event that people could write about. There's a lot to work with as far as an overarching story. If you wanted to have the entire thing about a portrayal about one big event. But there was also stories that weren't portraying any real events, but kind of made up their own stories and included references like Gay Brick Orphan and Gay Brick Orphan and Gay Brick Orphan. Oh, and don't forget Gay Brick Orphan. I think at some point, like, people tried to have their own fresh takes on the Gay Brick Orphan meme, but I would have loved to see more variety when it came to that regard. I would have loved to see stories that basically didn't have anything to do with the Gay Brick Orphan theme. Like, I planned on writing my story without minimally, if at all, mentioning it, because I didn't feel like it should be mentioned. It's definitely a part of our community, but I knew that, like, I didn't see a point making it. Like, at this point, it just came off as harassing Orphan for the entire time. Like, I felt bad for Orphan this entire time that he had to deal with all this shit. Now, well, thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. I plan on making a proper video. Well, not necessarily plan, but I've been thinking about making a proper video of my thoughts about my current trigonometry class. A lot of you have probably watched or read my blog post about it, but ever since then I've come up with more and more reasons why I hate it, and I've thought I might get a little bit of a bigger audience here on YouTube to just talk about it, I guess. I have plans for it. I may or may not do it when I have time. I don't know if I'll do it this weekend. I don't know if I'll do it next weekend. It all depends on what's going on. Although, looking at when Thanksgiving is... When is Thanksgiving? I forgot. When the fuck is Thanksgiving? Well, whatever. Thanksgiving weekend, I'll probably be busy or have a lot of free time. I can't tell which, because I do have time with classes, but at the same time I'm going to spend time with my family. I don't think I have too much to do this weekend, so I might end up working on it in my free time. That might be something I might do. I might end up doing other things. I just remembered I have to be somewhere at 12. God damn it. I'll set an alarm for 11. Wait. 10. Well, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a long ride, and I tried to make it as interesting as possible, but at this point I'm just rambling. So I guess I will see you guys later.